Welcome to this week's version of Nickels and Dimes, our weekly video series. Well, I know we all are very prudent with our money. We never waste our money on foolish things. Well, that's not true. We all do, of course, including me. But today we're going to talk about 10 things that people waste money on. And by the way, if you find value in this video, if you're seeing it on social media, Facebook or LinkedIn, go ahead and share it. Or if you get it in an email, go ahead and forward to a friend. So 10 things people waste money on. Let's jump in and explore. Now, this list is brought to you by this gentleman, Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors of our time, one of the richest men in the world. Warren Buffett put this list together. So it has a lot of credibility, especially with me, and he's a gentleman I admire. So what are the 10 things that Warren Buffett talks about here? Number 1, low value investments. Number 2, credit card debt. Number 3, quantity over quality. Number 4, unnecessary spending. Number 5, new cars. 6, full price purchases. 7, regular night outs. 8, wasted opportunities. The 9th and 10th here are gambling and living beyond our means. Now, I'm not going to go over these lists of 10 because none of this is probably news to you. But if anything, it's a reminder of some things that we could potentially be doing better with the idea of presumably making better financial decisions. So I'm going to focus on 3 of the 10. So let's jump in and explore. 1 is low value investments. The most important investment that you can make is in yourself. By the way, I love that quote. I use that quote all the time because I'm a big believer. And this is one of the things that Buffett said according to Inc. magazine. Quote, that's how knowledge builds up like compound interest. Now, one of Buffett's most famous tips, known as the Buffett formula, is to go to bed smarter each day. According to Inc. magazine, Buffett recommends reading. That is to say, he spends about 80% of his day reading, and he suggests that anyone hoping to achieve success should read at least 500 pages a day. So if you're investing in something other than yourself right now, it might be time to rethink your strategy. This is so key. I mean, think about it. Where do we spend our day? Many of us work, some of us are retired, but a lot of us spend time on social media, watching the news, maybe doing something that is not as ideal for us in terms of our investment in ourselves. So Warren Buffett and I am highly encouraging you to spend time reading to improve yourself. Again, the best investment you can make is in yourself. And to that end, this is one of the best books I've ever read. The Magic of Thinking Big, Acquire the Secrets of Success, Achieve Everything You've Always Wanted. Now, this is an old book written by David Schwartz, PhD, but frankly, it's one of the best books that I've ever read. In fact, I would highly recommend when you're reading books, don't just read them once and put it down. Read them multiple times, study them, because sometimes you have different awarenesses as you're reading a book. So again, The Magic of Thinking Big, per Buffett, one of the best investments you can make is in yourself, and read at least 500 pages a day. So that's number 1, spending time and money on low value investments. Number 2, new cars. This is not a surprise probably to many of you. Spending money on new cars is generally a waste of money because most cars are depreciating assets. I say most because obviously some collector cars can appreciate in value over time, but most cars, of course, are depreciating in assets, especially new cars. According to the Kelley Blue Book, most new vehicles have a 20% drop in value in the first year. So instead of buying a new car, Buffett prefers to buy used vehicles at reduced prices. And he says, the truth is I only drive around 3,500 miles a year, so I'll buy a new car very infrequently. In fact, it's a question we often get. What's the pros and cons of a new car? So obviously the pros of a new car is you get the latest and greatest technology and safety features. Warranties, of course, are better with new cars. Lower interest rates. So if you're looking to finance a new car, your car loan will have a lower interest rate than a used car loan. You can customize a car. So for example, you might want a car in red or brown or black, and obviously if it's a used car, you get what you get. But if it's a new car, you can, in most cases, design that car. And obviously, new cars are highly reliable, generally speaking, particularly versus used cars. Now, what are the cons of new cars? Obviously, you're going to pay a higher price. They're more expensive than used cars. As noted, rapid depreciation, new cars lose a significant amount of value quickly, higher insurance costs, higher taxes and fees depending on the state you're in. This is one of the challenges. One of the questions I always get is, should I buy a car? Should I lease a car? Should I buy a new car? Should I buy a used car? So depending on your situation, but again, some things to consider. Per Buffett, one of the biggest wastes of money is buying a new car. So the third thing on this list is living beyond their means, keeping up with the Joneses. When you're shopping and seeing something you like, ask yourself whether you really need it or just want it. As you're doing these type of things, you're running your day-to-day, your week-to-week, ask yourself, is what you're thinking about buying something you really need or you just want it? Because why, folks, this is probably not news to some, maybe news to others, credit card debt is at an all-time high. $1.2 trillion in total. This is per the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Americans are struggling and putting a lot of money on credit cards. One of the reasons, obviously inflation, but the other reason, people are making decisions emotionally. And when you make emotional decisions, particularly with your money, it's probably not a wise decision. So what's our thought process? This is a quote by Dave Ramsey. I love this quote. We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like. Think about that. So are you making financial decisions? Are you making emotional decisions simply to impress people? Again, not ideal. The common human tendency is to spend excessively and unwisely, often driven by a desire to gain approval from others, even those we don't particularly care for. Think about that. I mean, Dave Ramsey, if you don't know who Dave Ramsey is, one of the national financial gurus, and he brings up a great point here. Are you spending money simply to impress people, keeping up with the Joneses? If you are doing that, I highly encourage you to stop. Hopefully you're not doing that. Hopefully you're putting your time and attention on something that is of value, and that is what is a priority in your life. Again, saving, investing, minimizing your expenses, and doing things for your future are obviously big wins. So again, I wanted to share this with you. Warren Buffett, one of the best investors in history, shared this list for us, and I thought I'd share it with you. Again, if you found value in this video, if you see it on social media, go ahead and share it, or if you get an email, go ahead and forward it to a friend. All that to say is, if you would like a second opinion on your financial situation, if you need clarity, putting together a budget, putting together a financial plan, asking a question that might be on your mind. When can I retire? How much money do I need to put away for retirement? You can go on our website at nicholswealth.com, click on this request an appointment tab, fill out the information, and one of our advisors will reach out to you and answer your questions and give you some clarity in today's challenging financial environment. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.